got back like an hour ago. Now we're here, ready to make some gains, I guess, because definitely need a lot of help. Because a little background, I guess. I
Huh?
started playing Reboot um, beginning of March last year,
Mm-hmm.
and was really enjoying the game. Was having a lot of fun. I really like the Legion system.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, it feels really rewarding to like level up your characters and everything. So I was grinding out a bunch of different characters. Did Followed your guide for like leveling all the characters through the order and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then got them all to 100, and then did a ton of Zakum runs every day,
Uh-huh.
just every character, and got them up to wherever I want them. So I got the background or the baseline for that done.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was doing that until the Hotel Maple event, actually, which was like during the summer. And during that event, like I saw like all these rewards, and I was like in the shops, and there was like so many different things I wanted to buy. So I was going super hard. I was like coin capping on literally like 11 different characters or something. It was ridiculous.
That seems like
And
something that
one day,
wouldn't burn you out at all.
yeah, one day I literally just said like, yeah, I'm not having fun anymore. So I just stopped playing
Mm-hmm.
until recently. I came back like right before Christmas, which honestly, the biggest thing I'm sad about now is I missed the DMT registration,
Mm.
because I think I was actually playing, but I think it was like the first or second day, just like retrying the game again.
Right.
Wasn't
Yeah.
sure if I was gonna actually play or not,
Yeah.
but yeah, I guess that's where I'm at now.
Mm-hmm. And you're
Um,
slowly picking up where you left off. Are you playing by yourself, or are you playing with friends,
yeah,
or?
no, I just mostly play by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I've done was pretty much been solo. I think the only party thing I did was I joined a struggle Damien run,
Mm-hmm.
like um, in your Discord, like a while back,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we cleared. We actually did clear it, so that
Okay.
was. But honestly, I didn't really feel like very rewarding, or like, because like during that struggle party, like I literally was like no idea what was going on,
Mm-hmm.
didn't even know the mechanics. Like I didn't even feel like I was fighting the boss. I was just dying to random stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know like what to cleanse or and anything about the boss,
Mm-hmm.
and we still ended up clearing it, and like I got the rewards. So like I don't know, it just felt off. Like I don't know, like coming from like having to solo everything up to CRA with like building my own gear and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and then learning all the mechanics, dying out practice runs, and then just going to like a party scenario where like I don't know, it just like it felt like I really didn't have to put in any work. I just sit there and
Mm-hmm.
hit my buttons and clear it.
Well, you're an Adele, and we did get the reboot passive change, so
Oh
to an
yeah,
extent, it
that's
is a little
true.
bit just press the
Yeah.
buttons and watch the boss die. Hopefully, the
That
dying to
did.
random shit goes down as you get more experience, but
Yeah.
that will happen in the beginning as well. So, well, first of all, so what level? You're Adele main, right? What level are you
Oh,
now? 220,
236 or
236.
237. Sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
237.
And what kind of stuff can you like completely solo? And what's your goal for soloing,
I
I guess?
did. So actually, I ended up trying a bunch of new bosses this week
Mm-hmm.
since started playing again, and I cleared Lotus, CPAP, Akechi, and Damien this week. So I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
proud of that.
Nice. And do you feel with
And
the Lotus and the Damien fights, do you feel like you're getting better at that, or is there
yeah, I
some
definitely
stuff?
feel like I learned the mechanics like way better now than when I first started trying to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I cleared it with like tons of guild skills buffs
Yeah,
and
that helps.
upgraders,
Yeah.
because my gear is honestly like pretty weak, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Like
But
I
your
don't I
level, it
like
can use work. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I don't have like like many legendary
Mm-hmm.
gear. I know like a lot of people focus on cubing, but like
Early on, yeah, to not
I
have to
think
deal with the
like
risk of blowing your stuff up. People tend to focus
yeah.
to an extent, sometimes too much, on potential in the beginning for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, like I think it's just because when I was playing, I think I was waiting for like a DMT or something
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to save money because
Yeah, so you stayed
I
epic
don't
longer to
yeah
to
to
capitalize.
try to transfer and stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and then up to epic, yeah, the value gets kept, right? So it makes more sense to just stay on epic for a little bit longer.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Yeah, that was my thought process with that. But I feel like if I upgraded a few gear to like, you know, maybe 1.5 line legendary, I would get a lot more damage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a little bit of everything, right? And it's all about like how expensive is it roughly going to be, and what does it do for your bottom line when it comes to
Yeah,
damage.
so like that's where I'm getting kind of lost. Is like I don't know. Like ever since coming back, I'm kind of lost with my gear plan. Like I like have a bunch of stuff backups that I had from before, and like I don't know what I was doing with them. Like I
Mm-hmm.
can't remember like where I was going with this gear, what, and like so, and like I don't even think I even knew what the plan was, like, or what I should even be going for, because I think I was going so hard back then because I wanted to buy out all the droplets in the Hotel Maple shop,
Mm-hmm.
and
With the meso
it was
ones
like a
or
lot of
the
money. Yeah, so like I was capping on 11 characters plus
oh yeah, back in
opening
hotel, yeah.
on my Adele.
Was it 100
So
back then? 200?
I think it was like I can't remember, but it was a decent amount.
Mm-hmm. Now it's 800. Are you gonna buy out?
Uh, yeah, so
Probably not.
that's why I was going so hard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But so like one of my considerations was like because I have this fake arcane weapon from the compensation that was given out sometime,
Mm-hmm.
like when I was playing, and this arcane weapon has carried me honestly. Like
Yeah.
it is so
My Adele
good.
has it as well. It's a free ticket.
Yeah, it's so much damage. Yeah, if I didn't have this weapon, there's no way I would have cleared any of these bosses.
Yeah, for sure. You're relying on it very heavily at this point. Yeah, you want to make sure that it's not the one piece that's like hinging
Yeah,
all of
like
your progress
pretty
on.
much like 75% of my damage, I'd say.
Well, I
Maybe
mean,
even more.
actually, it's 100% because if you unequip it, you don't do any damage anymore. So.
Yeah, that is true.
I get what you mean. So when it comes to goals, I guess, is it just like, do you just want to outline like a general benchmarks, milestones to go for from here on
well,
out, or is there a specific goal you want to
yeah.
reach, or?
Well, that is also something I want to talk about because like my goal when starting was to try to solo Lotus and Damien because like that was like the hardest like bosses I've ever like seen until then because like all the content when I came back was like pretty new.
Mm-hmm.
Since I played MapleStory back in the day, like I think I played Aurora or something like back in 2018. I checked out the game again, and I don't even think I made it to 200. But like I saw all the bosses and like I saw people clearing Lotus and Damien. I think like hard Lotus and hard Damien might have been what I was watching or whatever. And so like my goal was like that to clear Lotus and Damien, and also like another goal for mine was like 8K Legion because one of my friends who actually does play the game, he would always like be like, "Oh, I got 8K Legion on Reboot, man." So that was like always one of my goals since starting. Just try to reach there. I'm getting pretty close.
Okay, so we'll keep that in mind, and that's something that you generally enjoy, right? Like playing other characters and
Yeah,
trying them out.
I like playing the Legion characters. I think it's pretty fun to like go through all the different characters and see what they do. But I mean, recently, like since I came back, like when I came back, my account pretty much just had like my 235 Adele, my like, and like everything else was like, well, like Kanna was 200 and everything else was 140. So I leveled up a bunch of different characters. Well, not everything wasn't level 140. Everything was like like the 11 coin cap characters were like maybe like 180 to 160 because I was doing the swims on them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, and then everything else is like 140 or 120.
I'm just reading your IGNs for your character. Jeez, too litty.
You gotta get through those.
Stoned, fried, faded, high, vibing, baked. I'm sensing a pattern here.
Yeah.
You're a good friend of Mary Jane, I think.
Yeah. A little bit.
A little bit. Okay, but yeah, so I think so. I guess we could start there with the Legion stuff. I mean, because that is going to be like part of your funding for your character. That's also going to happen through that, right?
Yeah.
I guess the main way is by expanding the coverage of the existing pieces and then the addition of extra pieces, where essentially once you hit 8K, what you're looking at now, the Legion board, you'll see the boss damage will basically be completely filled, and you'll have some extra as well that might go in to either critical rate or into strength.
Yeah, that extra boss damage would be pretty nice.
Yeah, so this is like getting a free extra line of potential on your weapon or secondary, right? That's essentially what it is.
It's a big chunk.
Yeah, and then on top of that, hopefully some level 3 links, right? Some level 210 characters for level 3 links.
Yeah, I finished all the EXP ones, and then I'm working on the Arc right now. And actually, I think Arc is really fun too. Like, I'm thinking of making the Arc a bossing mule. And my Kanna can, I cleared 3-door yesterday on my Kanna, so I can do that. So that's a little bit of money too.
Yeah. I don't know for CVL, is the IED high enough? Because Kanna struggles with that a little bit.
Yeah, IED, I think it's like 90 with the CRA.
That's not too
and
bad.
Like all my link skills, and 40 in the defense block. Like, I have my Kanna's Legion is just IED and then crit rate and like 3 in crit damage or something.
Yeah, more crit rate together with the IED, I guess.
She needs the crit rate, yeah.
Yeah, you need your Vanquisher charm to hit big.
Yeah, or else it's just no damage.
90 is probably good enough to try CVL, right? But it might depend on how long the run is, whether it's worth your time or not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really too interested in doing like a 25-minute CVL run every week, so maybe once I get more damage, because all the CRA gear is like no flames, no potential on it. So once I upgrade that, maybe. I also put the Lara fake Absolab on the Kanna, so that helps a lot.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, for bossing, I imagine the extra crit rate and the boss damage.
Yeah,
that's a good start. Yeah, so I guess to start with the Legion, like, is there did you do like the last Teraburn? Are you doing this Teraburn? Did you pick characters for that?
The last Teraburn, I did the BT. I kind of regret doing the BT because I actually enjoyed playing it. I think I wouldn't have minded leveling it to 210 on her own. But yeah.
Well, what's done is done, right?
Level 3 link skill is nice. The boss damage and the crit rate.
Yeah.
Get it out of the way.
The Kanna definitely likes that one.
Yeah, for sure. And then the second one I did Mercedes, because I had a level like 160 Mercedes, but I just didn't feel like getting gear for training her. So.
And are you planning?
I can't even delete her because she has a synergy ring on her.
Oh, I see.
Mercedes.
Are you planning on getting to 220 on one of the Teraburns for the rewards or no?
Maybe. I don't know if it's worth it because
Just do 15 again.
Like, I would just get another Absolab box, right? I'm already getting one from Maple M, the Pathfinder box. I think that's sometime February. So I'm probably gonna put that one on my arc, and then I'm not really sure what I would use another box for. Like maybe another bossing mule, maybe a hero. I thought a hero was pretty fun too.
Yeah, or maybe to help one of the characters that you maybe end up not liking as much to get to 200 more easily if they have a valuable double S Legion buff or level 3 link that you do want to get eventually.
Yeah, maybe.
Zero cannot get it. Yeah, Zero is not an option. But I think he said hero.
Yeah. Oh yeah, hero.
Yeah.
The explorer.
Yeah. Very
Plus
close to the
rework looks pretty sick for hero, so I get one pretty strong now.
Yeah,
Could be
there's
pretty fun.
a lot of stuff still moving around there, so I feel people are like, "Oh, what do you think? What do you think?" It's like, well, I think that we
Yeah.
probably still wait at least 2 or 3 more weeks until we get it finalized, but it's looking interesting so far. But yeah, it's always tricky to make any kind of predictions at this point, right?
Mm.
Yeah, I guess if you don't see the value directly and you see more value in making a bunch of 200s in the time that it would take you to get 1 to 220, then, you know, that's probably a better plan for you then, right?
Yeah, and I think it's just more value to get it on like a character I'm actually gonna play instead of one that I want to level, because like I like making like I like doing bosses a lot. Like I think that's my favorite thing in this game, like by far. Like I really don't like farming. Like I don't think I've meso farmed like once. I don't even have any meso gear. I don't. Yeah, I just like training, like leveling up Legion, getting stronger that way. I don't make that much money, but it's fine. Like I make my Ursus money, my MapleStory. It's enough for now.
Sure. Okay, but I guess when it specifically comes to the Legion, you can find your way there. You don't, or do you need any guidance, or do you have any questions there?
Is there anything I can do to make the leveling to like 200 or 210 easier? Like, should I like be investing more into flaming cubing the gear? Because all I've been doing is like trying to get epic 6% on WSC, like just 3% rare, well, whatever potential.
Yeah, that's definitely a good part. I would probably try to get I would try to get the Sweetwater weapons. That's pretty quick access now, right? It's got a high chance of occurring. Plus, they're way
what
stronger.
What level is this Commercy? Is that 160 or 140?
I believe you can go there and realistically get it around 140. Yeah. I don't know if anyone in chat has done that recently, but
might start doing.
I mean, they're level 160 weapons anyway, so there's no real point in trying it before 160. But
yeah,
getting up to 160, I think, is decently easy with the characters. It definitely starts getting a bit strong, a bit harder after that. Like you have the extra hyper skill, but the extra hyper skill usually is just like a little bit of help, not like a huge carry. But like the Sweetwater weapon, way higher base. It'll also help you if you want to kill the bosses around that level a little bit more easily. You know, like killing Horntail faster. The extra 30 boss and IED on the weapon makes that a whole lot easier. And then you can get the accessories more easily. Then you have more items to cube. Then, you know, you get the boss set accessory more easily. And then that starts like scaling better with each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably up until 160, it'll just be a matter of. But yeah, it's the WSE and then, you know, some Starforce on the other pieces, and try to roll like with the cold cubes and stuff to at least get like 3 or 6% on the pieces if they're rare or epic, and all the little bits will add up for sure.
You think it's worth like going for like the boss gear, like maybe like Magnus shoulder badge, if I can just clear it easy? But I don't know how good the drop rate is.
Drop rate is garbage for easy.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's even worth doing.
Yeah, I had a time where I did it because basically I would just do like 3 or 4 characters a day, and then you would usually get at least like one piece on one character, and then as a character was done, you just rotate another one in, and then whichever character gets them done first gets to go first on the road to 200, and then basically on the side you do a bunch of other characters, and that way you just choose like path of least resistance and power in numbers basically. And if a character gets absolutely stuck, then, you know, there would be someone like, hey, do you want to exchange hard Magnus? And be like, okay, yeah, fine, let's do that, because this character is not working. Like my Shade, I think it was 17 easy runs and then 8 normal runs, and then the second hard run was the first one that actually dropped. So I was like, yeah. Other than that, it just took
getting
forever.
the Shade to 200 without much gear was pretty rough.
Yeah, you kind of want to avoid having to go all the way to 200 in full Pencilier, because that is definitely...
yeah, it feels like...
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's inefficient training, honestly.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it pretty much is.
Reshotting.
Yeah. So it's usually fine to invest like 300-400 mil into a character just to get the Starforce, the... maybe like even OK Flames on the boss accessory pieces, right? Because most of them are flame advantaged. One thing other people also do a lot, just to get the characters all ready, is like exchange carries for bosses. Like exchange Succum carries, maybe if they don't have Iron Face, although most of your characters do, I see. But like exchange Chaos Horntail, for example, to get like the ring and the pendant and the earring. Because that's usually 3 pieces that can help you quite a lot with potential. You get like 3 or 6% on some of those, and you know that all of that does add up, plus set bonus, plus flame advantage flames. And then you can kind of be like, okay, this character got all the pieces that I wanted. This character's like more ready. This one's going to be priority up to 200. And then usually by the time you get to 200, you kind of make your money back on that character. And then you can transfer that money back to the next one and then use it to fund the next one and kind of like funnel it one to the other.
Yeah, I definitely think I like that way of like gearing up my characters better than like what I'm doing now. It's just like, you know,
kind of brute
pick a
forcing
character I'm gonna
through.
level for the day.
Yeah.
Just throw some potential scrolls, whatever I have, and some cubes. Just the Colts. I don't flame or like even keep. Like I'm really greedy with my items. Like I just send everything to my Adele, even like the Master Craftsman's, and like just like try to roll something.
At this point, it still makes sense, but after a while, even when the Adele can't use the value anymore, you're gonna have those characters that you're thinking of making into bossing mules, and then those are gonna want all your cubes and your flames. So by the time you get to the Legion part, by that time you probably will have already wanted to be at 7.5 or at 8k, so that's gonna slow you down too much, and you don't have the income to just like throw a bill at every character. Like that's not really a realistic situation here. So I would probably do it that way.
Okay.
If that seems reasonable to you, I guess.
yeah. I mean, that sounds like that sounds way easier because I feel like if I was 2 to 1-shotting, it wouldn't feel like I'm pulling teeth training these characters sometimes.
And then that fun that you have now working on Legion will fade away very quickly.
Yeah. Getting to 140 or getting to 100 is pretty fun. Yeah. Walk around and hit some mobs.
Yep. Yeah, there's no real challenge.
Especially
it's more
with,
about
like the big 6k spike, because now I get 40 crit damage.
Yeah, especially increasing the Legion level now is severely slower, right?
Yeah. Takes a while to level up.
Yeah, and all the levels have to be on existing characters. The real fun is once you get hit 8k and you want to go past 8k, then all your levels have to be on 200 plus.
Oh no.
Well, not immediately, right? Because you have like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100. Yeah, about 120. So you get like 80, 120 or something pretty easily if you just fill up the board with 200s. But then everything after that is, all on 200 pluses. Yeah. So then it starts slowing down.
It's a grind.
Yep. But there's also, no bump anymore to get 5 more characters in there. So that kind of takes away the value as well. And the only reason the character spaces would get bigger if you get them at least to 250 before that starts counting. So the individual value increase of level definitely goes way down past 8k. But 8k itself, I think, is it's not for everyone, but it is if you want to eventually get into the late game and in the end game specifically, then yeah, that's probably something to aim for in the long term.
It's good that Legion is so good because like that was one of my goals starting anyways. So.
Yeah, no, I think you'll do fine there. Just matter of the approach there. I mean, and that will give you much more to work on for link skills. Did you have any questions specifically for link skills?
Not really. I think I know what's going on there. I guess the one questionable thing right now is I'm running the crit rate because I get to the adventure crit rate because with Beast Tamer Link, it gets me to 90 with decent sharp eyes. So I just get that 10% plus monster collection. I didn't realize how important it was, especially now with the Kanna changes. Gotta stack them reward points.
Yep.
So
I
just have the little 3-hour ones from Vanishing Journey and Choo Choo. So I get like a little bit, but not too much.
Okay, I do have a video on reward points if you want to maximize more. Because the value of totems, of course, is really big, and we're talking about like growing the Legion like it's nothing, but having totems there will also be a huge help, of course.
Yeah. I'm also using like a decent amount of totems. Like I think I only have like 5 left or something.
Oh yeah, that's good. But yeah, to min-max your monster collection, to maybe adopt Maple M for the extra monster collection. And the bosses are giving more now, the weekly bosses, so that helps. But if you find yourself, you know, possibly needing a little bit of extra reward points just to be able to have a little bit more breathing room, then definitely check out the video on how to, you know, slowly work on your monster collection and how you can get extra reward points pretty easily. So, you know, there's not as much pressure on always having to boss every day.
Yeah,
That could help you out.
I think I'm doing most of the reward point stuff, except for it's just the monster collection that I've been slacking on. Like,
yeah, there's also like a Monster Park specific like a guide on which sets you can complete, and also if you want to, like how to set up Maple M with very little effort, you can get like 15k a month from that. So that's a huge income as well if you know, if you feel like that helps you out.
Yeah, I'm playing the Maple M. I started doing the Pathfinder thing.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Get in the box and everything.
Okay, cool.
So I'm doing that on the side.
Okay, cool.
But my event pet ran out, so now I only get 400 unless I tap the fever buff 5 times a day. Which I actually found out recently that you can buy pets in Maple M, but they're like really expensive.
Yeah, there's free pets, a lot of them in the beginning, but then, you know, eventually they run out.
Yeah.
But the pets can also auto buff the fever buff. Have you figured that out?
Yeah. That's why, like, the event pets had it, and then they ran out.
Yeah.
Now I have it.
Oof, it's a hard life, right?
Yeah, it's just sometimes I just don't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
So sometimes I miss it. I only get 400 that day.
Yeah, well, I got to 140 and then I stopped playing it again. But like for that 1 month, I had a lot of extra reward points coming in. A lot of pressure, pressure off of the other sources for sure. Yeah, I guess the only alternative would be like the Phantom Link instead of the two link skills to fill up the crit rate requirement. But then you would have to get something that gives you at least as much damage or more than Focus Spirit to compensate to make the switch worth it.
Yeah, I like having Focus Spirit in. Like, I don't think the Phantom Link is any better because right now my Adele has 0 in crit rate and hyperstats. So if I want 10%, if I really want to replace a link skill, I can just put it in there.
Yeah, the other thing is that you have to consider, of course, is that once the weapon gets taken away, that's 12% that you have to account for.
Yeah, that's true. So maybe then I can slot it Phantom back in. Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen for a while. Because I think I want to upgrade everything else and then look at the weapon.
Yeah. Yeah, and like in extreme circumstances, you could also like move the Legion grid around a little bit and just move the 1 piece in boss damage to 1 piece in critical rate, for example. Yeah. If you need like a little bit.
Maybe once I get 10, maybe the 10 crit rate will be better than 10 boss for a link skill.
Yeah, I mean, it's for Legion, you always want to look at that 1-to-1, right? Crit rate to boss damage. And that's why, to a certain extent, the Phantom Link and the V-Simmer Link is kind of the same, because, you know, boss damage and crit rate 1-to-1, and it's 20 versus 20, so that's like same value. So then the value comes down to your hyperstats, how high is already, and is 1 point, or is 1% the same as 1% for the other one, right? If one is at level 0 and the other one is at level 10, well then obviously one is way cheaper there than the other to increase.
Yeah.
And then that becomes the rule. You want 8, yeah, that makes sense, yeah, that you're in the current situation, you got your 100 crit. So, well, since, I guess we did start talking about like what your goals were, so like Legion is one of the goals, but the other thing you said is like you wanted to do Lotus and Damien, which you did, is it then just, I'm going to go to the next thing, or?
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of lost, like I don't even know where I should even, what my goal should be for my Adele now, like maybe do Solo Lucid, or like Slide. I don't know. I don't really know.
It could be. I mean, it's your MapleStory, right? It's your
yeah.
World is your oyster. Whatever you wanna be able to achieve. When it comes to like the list and like what's mathematically the next thing on the list, it would be like easy lucid, then normal slime, then normal lucid, then I think right after that it's probably. It kind of depends on where you're at, but it's probably like normal will, and then right after that, hard lucid, and then hard lotus, hard Damien, hard will, Hard Slime, and Gloom and Dark now somewhere around there, and then into Varishilla, then into the Heart Tenebris, and then into Black Mage, basically. Like, that's a whole kind of the list. Oh,
Yeah.
I guess the one thing that would be the next for you, that I skipped over, would be Helix.
Oh, I clear Helix,
Mhm.
but my problem with Helix is just actually making it through the fight. Like last week, I crashed the entire week in the fight. Like,
Did you get the
all
5
7
stacks?
days. I think that might have been part of it
Mm-hmm.
for at least a few of them, but I know for my 5th and 6th run, like I definitely cleared the stacks, and then I finally I cleared it yesterday. I finally got my coins and then got the drops. You know, got some cracked earrings, solid belt.
Yes.
Pretty good.
Nice.
You know, worth my 8 days of suffering.
Yeah, because he's kind of the gatekeeper to being able to go to Lucid and Will, honestly, and going to the higher level bosses, because that set bonus is just so incredibly important, and it gives you that extra freedom to move your points around in the Legion board and with the link skills and with the hyper stats wherever you need it. And it also gives you the go ahead to basically move away completely from the boss accessory set and to move into a combination of Sweetwater and Helix, I guess Superior Golix instead. You have to move away from that.
That's also something I was kind of confused about. 'Cause, like, right now with my gear, like I'm not sure what sets I should be going for. Like, should I be going for Reinforced because I have 2 of the pieces already, or should I just go straight for Superior?
Straight for Superior, typically. It's you want that stat bonus. You want it as soon as possible, and Reinforced is just not going to cut it. It's just going to slow you down. And like you said, you can technically already kill Helix. So the gear is not going to have any function at this point. It's just going to slow you down from getting to Superior.
Okay, so then I should probably stop investing in these earrings. I'm like, well, I guess I can transfer these earrings.
Exactly,
right?
yeah. It's not a bad idea at all. People will Starforce them, and depending on how long it takes you to get the whole set, there's like 2 major points, right? One point is like getting it to either 15 or to 16, right? Transfer hammering, getting the earrings up to 17, and then getting some decent potential on it, as long as you can get the full set bonus. If it takes way longer and you get way more rich before then, for example, or you get way more backups from the Reinforced, the second jump usually is getting the Reinforced at 21, transfer hammering into the Superior, and then having the Superior at 20. And then depending on where your whole account is, either investing in it and in 20 and then circling back to it later to get to 21, which has a potential risk of, if you boom it, you might have to do the transfer again if you don't have Superior backups, or tap it from 20 to 21 immediately if you have at least 1 backup or enough coins for 1 backup. And then once that hits, then working on the potential again. So you can still be flexible in that, but yeah, like you said, there's no huge loss in investing at least a little bit more into the Reinforced earrings. Like, most of that is going to be able to get transferred over to the Superior anyway, so no loss.
Okay, yeah, because that was one thing. Like, because I wasn't sure like if I was supposed to still be using the Deus Situs or not, because the Reinforced doesn't give me any set effects, just there.
Yeah, comparatively, it's actually weak, right? Because you're losing the set effect, and that's kind of why you typically just wait until you have the whole set for Superior. Maybe the belt or something, people go earlier because the flat attack on a Superior belt is very high, but it's also one that you're waiting for a drop on, so it's not like you can just get it early. Like, you have to, you typically have to just wait for the RNG. And then again, you know, if you're using working on another belt, like this is also a level 140 belt, that also can get transfer hammered over. So there's no real loss in moving forward with these pieces. So it basically will come down to every single set and every single piece. We have to see, like, what is the next piece that we go for and when do we go for that, and that'll determine how hard do we push on the current piece, or do we keep what we now have, and do you start working on backups for the next piece, and then based on what event comes around, what is the next upgrade, and do you have backups or do you already have the current piece? That'll determine which pieces have priority in upgrading and which ones we'll just have to wait until a bit later.
Alright. Sounds good.
But yeah, let's make sure that all the other stuff is like, you know, we got our I's dotted and T's crossed and all of that. So familiar-wise, do you feel, because this is a very solid setup for familiars for where you're at, do you feel like you know where to go next with this?
Yeah, I just started getting familiars again
Hmm.
from Aspera and Morass
Yep.
areas.
Are you training
So like,
in Esfera, or is it just during dailies? You
not
mean?
really, just during dailies, because most of my day is just dailies and then
Hmm.
either bosses or whatever, and then on the Adele and the Kanna are symbol dailies. Always do those, and then it's just leveling a Legion character for the day. Just the rest of the day is just spent on that. But I
Is
think
that something
with the new
you're okay with?
I think I want to change my
Hmm.
plan a bit because um yeah, leveling one character to 200 a day is pretty rough without gear.
Yeah, I
So
don't. Yeah, I never did
I
that.
think the
Even with gear,
priorities
I
should
didn't do
change.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, I would try. I would like start one, but if if it wasn't done yet, I wouldn't be like, oh, I have to keep going. I'd be like, well, I'll just continue tomorrow. Tomorrow's another day, kind of thing.
Hmm.
Um. So yeah. So what was the list? You're doing symbol dailies on two characters, like on the Kana and on the Adele.
Oh, yeah.
And well, the reason for the Adele is obvious. That's your main. That's the one we're gonna progress on. And what is the specific reason you're doing it on the Kana?
Just for damage, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, she was gonna be like eventually like a farmer and like a boss mule,
Mm-hmm.
but with the Kana changes, I'm not sure how hard I should go on her. Maybe just park her at once she can clear 4 door within 1 30 minutes, within one set of potions. I think that's where I want to park her.
Getting to a part
Ideally.
where you can farm and Lakaline is also, within reach pretty quickly, plus can get you very good rates. Plus we have another 6 months of being able to do that, right?
And
That still can
oh,
end up.
true. There's also the vac pet coming, so maybe I should, yeah, invest in something for the Kana.
Yeah,
So yeah.
if you want to, yeah. It comes down, right? You said that you are close to finishing all of your totems, so it means that you're playing a lot.
Hmm. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna end
Excuse me.
up naturally just playing on the Kana more
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, this game without spawn boosters is pretty bad sometimes. Like
You get used to it, and then going back is just horrible.
yeah,
If it was never a thing, like with power creep and with bigger AoEs and hitting more monsters, more lines and everything, just comes clearing faster. And then with clearing faster comes having an empty map to look at until the monsters come back, and not having any kind of, having a way now to improve that and then losing that is always going to feel shit. I think if they wanted
yeah,
to reduce the rates or want to reduce the exp, then just reduce the rate, the exp or the mesos per monster, but leave the current speed of the monsters respawning. Because even, yeah, if there's, if you want to get the rates down, there's just two ways to do that. I think the best way to do that is always by keeping the game more fast paced than slowing the game down instead to get the. I feel like that's double bad.
yeah. And like now
It's gonna
the
feel double
state is
bad.
where
Yeah.
we are, where Kishin is apparently lagging the servers because so many people need Kana to progress, especially in game.
Yeah,
Or
that
some
was
people
well.
feel like they need it at
Hmm.
least. I feel like I never felt like it was necessary to farm to
Hmm.
progress in this game, but I'm not that far, so what do I
I
know?
think with the server thing, the way I read it is that in the past that definitely happened, so that's why they nerfed it in the past. But that right now the performance issues that they're not quite sure where they're coming from. That it's like an option that it's either like some abuse that they were unaware of, or it's the amount of players, or it's something completely different. Like they're still investigating what exactly is the case. I think the main reason that the Kishin is seeing a nerf is just overall the to shift the balance of where the resources are coming from within the game and how many resources we're generating, and the intended balance for the design of the game that's coming down from KMS, and for the difficulties of the boss. You can imagine if people are able to blow through the game's content very, very quickly and get to the end game where there's limited content, because that's where they're constantly developing the newest content, right? That a lot of people can end up ending at the end of the line and there's nothing there, and then just get bored and leave, and you don't want that. But you also don't want people to be stuck in the beginning of the game and not able to reach the end game either, right? So it's a balancing act between
Yeah,
like how quickly do you let people progress and what is a healthy speed to progress through the game that will encourage people to play the game, but that also won't discourage them once they get there, that there's nothing to do and there's only like thousands of hours of farming to get like one more star on one item. Like
right.
that only goes so far as being fulfilling, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a tricky balance, and slowly nerfing Kishin is probably the way to go. It seems that GMS wanted that injection and definitely took advantage of that, but slowly getting us away from that is probably the thing to do. They could have also just like they gotten rid of it in one go, but that probably would have been pretty bad because you don't want to just axe your community. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, if they remove Kishin and Totems, I don't think a lot of people would be playing.
Yeah, I think Totems will probably stay the way they are now. I don't think they're going to increase it or decrease it, like they said.
Yeah, I think Totems are fine where they are personally. Because like I feel like you can get enough to like train a decent amount.
Yeah. Well,
month, so.
I think people in general always like, oh, we want totems that we're able to pause or that don't last as long so that you're not blocked in for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But I guess if the alternative is getting rid of them, then people will probably choose these over nothing.
Yeah.
If that was if those were the two options. Okay, let's do, but familiars, you're familiar with. Oh God, I hate every single time I say it that way. You know where that system is going and how to work on that later.
Yeah, I think I have a good idea. I think it's just the fusing.
Mm-hmm.
Once I start getting the same one, leveling it up.
Yep.
And then also I'm opening booster packs. Haven't gotten anything good yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a it's a lottery
just
ticket
Hail Mary.
every time. Yeah. Sometimes an epic, sometimes it only takes one booster pack to get like a really nice one from a set that otherwise you wouldn't be able to complete, and then you basically get a free badge set, right? Because around the time where you start wanting to level them, it's a decent idea to start looking out for getting those 10 badges so that you can have one drop on one of the slots and then the other 2 slots be familiars that you want to level up so that you can churn them out 2 at a time, mass produce those epics. Oh yeah, and the Dominator. So the Dominator printer you're using right now, that's also part of the crit, right?
Yeah, that's a fake. Yeah, that's a fake Dominator. But I have 2 real ones.
Okay.
But they just don't have as much stats.
Oh yeah, because there's yet a backup picture here as well.
Yeah, also for backups, I don't even know what I should be holding. Like all that stuff is just stuff that was in my inventory when I logged on in December. So like I don't
a long time ago. Yeah. From whatever the plan was back then, but you know, with meta shifting and everything, that it's possible that that's not really the goal for it anymore. Okay, so I guess let's go through the matrix a little bit. Let's see if we can, kind of like clear all that up, and then we can get into the equips. Sound good?
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
Do you have any questions at this point? Do you feel like you know what to prioritize and where to go next with this?
So yeah, I had a few questions about Matrix. For the will skill, that's what I should be using all my experience nodes on right now, right? Or should I wait on that and level up other stuff? Because I'm not. I know like will skill, like the best way to level it up is through the experience nodes, but I'm not sure how much I actually need the will skill, like where I'm at right now.
Yeah, it's a little. I don't know if it's like controversial or whatever. Usually, I think among all the things that you will hear for people who are more min-maxy, they'll definitely say like throw all the experience nodes on there. You know, it's going to take a while until you can do hard will, and it's going to take a long time to max. On the other side, I don't think that the will skill needs to be buffed that much early on. I don't think it's pretty necessary. Like it's already very strong when you're bossing, and when you're mobbing, it already one shots. Yeah.
I didn't really feel the difference between like level 5 and level 1, honestly.
Exactly. What I think early on, personally, but again, like it comes down to the player, so I'm just giving you the options. What I think makes more sense in the beginning is to throw it onto any kind of skill node that you want to level. I think Holy Symbol, for example, is a good pick early on because it increases your experience and your drop rate, which allows you to get more nodes faster. And then, you know, it's a little bit that it is an increase. Plus, then it helps you figure out your matrix more quickly, get all your skills leveled up more quickly, which gets you stronger, which gets you to the boss faster, being hard will, which gets you to the clears faster, which allows you to level up the True Arachnoid Reflection then, which I think in the end, I don't know in the end which one is faster, but that feels like a more organic way of getting there. Plus, you know, more drop from all the other bosses at the same time. So
yeah, I mean, I definitely think Holy Symbol is the play because like before my one ring that I got recently from the scroll, that's legendary.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any drop rate gear, so
Mm-hmm.
all I only drop rate was the familiars and holy symbol and a green pendant.
Yeah. So percentage-wise, that's a larger chunk of the total that you have. And I guess you're using the drop coupons. Are you using those for your weekly bosses? The Legion drop coupon?
I haven't, but I probably should because
Mm-hmm.
I recently just built up a bank of Legion coins.
Yeah, and as your character gets stronger, you'll be able to do more of your bosses in like a condensed amount of time, right? And then just
Yeah.
pop. So what I usually do is I go to do Princess No first, and I get all the way to the end to the actual Princess No fight, like just the door before, and then I pop the drop rate coupon, go in, kill her, and then do all the other bosses right after, because that's the one where
Okay.
you have the biggest wind up to get to the boss itself, right? And you don't want the timer of the
Yeah.
coupon to be getting eaten up by that. And then maybe you do like a separate coupon if you're doing Lotus and Damien. You probably won't be able to do all of those
Yeah.
in one.
I cleared I reset weekly reset. I cleared Lotus and Damien in 30 minutes.
Yeah, so they'll be like within the 30-minute, and then most of the other bosses will probably be like roughly within a 30-minute, like starting from Princess No, and then like CRA and CPAP, and then normal Cygnus and CZAC, and all of those bosses together. It might take a while. You might look for yourself. Like probably at this point, the drop rate coupon maybe isn't as important on Lotus and Damien, because what does it really give you? Like
Yeah.
more soul shards and maybe a little bit better chance for flames and cubes, right? That's about it. But like for Princess No, extra Kanna treasure rings. If you're doing Arcarium, chance for primals and for dominators, right?
Yeah.
Those are, and I don't know if you need like where do you need back. Well, that's like one of the things we'll get into, right? Like where do you need backups? But like the CRA backups, when you're killing the bosses, they get more pieces. Plus those bosses are
the
much
pieces
faster.
affected by drop rate? Like,
Yeah.
do you get more pieces? Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's kind of. It's evident for me at this point, but yeah, you kind of just have to know for everything. Is it affected,
Yeah.
or is it
Is it or not?
significantly
Like,
infected? Like some things we just don't really know, I guess.
Yeah, I think Galax is not affected in CPAP, right, by drop rate. So
Yeah, it seems that at
like
least
stuff that's not
the
and
superior
stuff that
the
is.
superior Galax stuff and the Pep marks seem to be not affected. Yeah, or if they are, it's at a reduced rate or something that makes it pretty much effectively like it isn't affected.
Yeah.
Which is a good place to be in, that we kind of just have to, after many years, kind of conclude that rather than knowing that. It's rather unfortunate, but tis the game we play.
I think that's pretty clear for most of that stuff.
For the Matrix, yeah.
Yeah, I think I know where I'm going with that.
Blink.
Actually, one other question. Like I'm not sure what I should be putting in next, and like, I think what I have now is pretty solid. But like once I get to 240, should I just put back in Legacy Restoration, or should I have Conversion Overdrive? I'm not really sure which one I should put in.
Legacy Restoration Conversion. It'll probably be Legacy Restoration, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm thinking after that whether it's Decent Combat Orders or Overdrive, then probably Decent Combat Orders, honestly, and then Overdrive, I think. Yeah, Legacy Restoration is just it's nice when you're mobbing and just jumping around, especially when you're looting and you put up Storm and you have a Legacy Restoration Storm with 8 blades. That's always nice to just jump around on, more chance of everything
it's
dying.
pretty fun getting the 8-blade Storm.
And then of course during bossing it increases all your bursts. Plus it builds up the Ether way faster, so you can recharge those swords way faster, so it helps for that. But I do think it's a lower priority skill in general for the whole kit, so...
Yeah. Even though I have it leveled up, it's just sitting on the side.
Yeah, it's normal that it's slowly leveling at the same pace of the other skills. I don't know, other than that, it seems like I don't think you're missing... Like the goddess, you don't have that one, right?
I just don't think I opened one yet. Like I opened I think I've maybe opened like a total of like 200 nodes so far.
It might be that like Legacy Restoration and then These Scardors maybe for mobbing, but for bossing, the goddess is probably slightly higher priority because of the burst it gives you. And you'll
I'll definitely look into that. Then.
Yeah, you'll get closer and closer to the point where a bunch of the bosses is just like walk in, pop your burst, destroy it, walk in, bind it, burst it down, right?
Yeah, that's the point I want to get to eventually.
Yeah, you'll see that happening to more and more bosses as you go, as we.
That's already happening to the CRA. Like.
Yeah, it happened earlier than you think, right? With Adele.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I thought my gear was pretty bad, and then I cleared Lotus and Damien.
Well, the class is pretty good,
like,
so that makes up for a whole lot of missing.
Yeah.
This damage, like just ruin by itself is so many lines of damage. Like,
just so nice.
Destroys.
Big sword.
Yep. Just destroys monsters. Well, plus you're at those level 40 as well, so you get the extra 20 IED there. That also helps confirm a lot of that damage.
Yeah, I just got it to level 40. Actually, it was like level 39, and then I leveled it to 40, and then I cleared Lotus and Damien. So.
Oh yeah, I imagine against them. Yeah, you noticed the difference quite a bit.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the 20% is pretty big.
So your weekly income, would you say, is around like 3 bill, 3 to 4?
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty close to 3 bill.
Okay. And
maybe less because I've been spending like a lot like on like the Legion characters and like the Kanna recently, but yeah, like if I save my money, I'd say it's close to that.
Yeah, so like the things that we want to think about is if you want to have the Kanna be prepared and be able to farm and make that money, and the Adele doesn't have any immediate like struggles of either killing monsters around your level or doing the bosses that are relative to your level, because like the next step would be like doing normal Lucid in a party and maybe normal slime. If you feel very confident in Lotus and Damien and you're like slowly progressing with that, and you're still increasing your boost nodes, you're still increasing your arcane power, and there's like small stuff that could still be improved in the gear without making any giant expenditures, that could be a nice sweet spot to be like, okay, I'm gonna level up the Kanna and dedicate more directly the resources to the Kanna and start working on the drop rate and meso gear there, so that once I have enough arcane power on that character and it can reliably kill in Lackline, that I can just stop spending money on the Kanna at that point, and then everything from the Kanna can go to the Adele, all the extra nodes, all the extra money, and then the Adele by that time has built up more arcane power, is maybe at 240, 245, wants to go to the higher level areas where you need more damage, and then you can refocus and start spending more on the Adele. That's an option. The other thing is, if you think that's too far away for the Kanna and it needs to build up way more stat before it can get to that point, then maybe if the Adele gets to a point where you can kill the bosses way faster, or in training with meso and drop rate gear, you can make more money there. But then one is just funding the other, or the other is funding the one. So usually the main thing that I ask people to consider is like the amount of hours you put in, and do you feel like when you're done with all your totems on your main character, do you still have a lot of time of the month left over where you want to play and you want to grind, and you can make gains on the Kanna? Then it would make more sense to try to get the Kanna up to speed first, because then you'll basically just get to the finish line faster. But if you struggle to finish your totems, or you don't even finish your totems, then the only good argument I think for the Kanna is if you have a very irregular schedule and you have like small chunks of time available throughout the day and throughout the week where you could get some gains, but you can't really if you only are restricted to totems, and then it would be very wasteful to use the totems in that way.
Yeah.
So I guess with all that information, like, I guess what play style, what profile seems reasonable for you?
I'd say I definitely finished my totems. Like even back when I was playing, even back then, I was finishing them every month, and then I was also doing a second Maple M account just to get reward points on my laptop.
Okay.
So I could do more totems there. I was doing that too. I haven't done that, but maybe I should start doing that again because the Kanna changes. Gonna have to stack them up.
Yep. Well, again, yeah, there's a few months from now, but that might be something to look into when that time comes. Yeah, I think the 2PC, 3PC meta with like extra totems on the side is most likely gonna see some light, definitely for some people. I just hope that party play and exchanging totem value and maps and stuff like that will will be possible in some way, but we'll need different maps. We'll need runes to be character bound and not be map bound. So there's going to be some stuff that needs to be done for that. He's already ready for the Kishin change meta. Yeah, he's already thinking ahead.
Gotta be prepared. I saw the message.
Yeah. Immediately planning. Yeah, so I guess I would say in that regard, I can look through the character here specifically and see what are some short-term things we can do to just capitalize hardcore on the things we've already put into motion, and then see what are the things to work on midterm, mainly when it comes to like backups and what to emphasize. But then for the short term, it'd probably be better to mostly direct most of the resources to the Kanna, so that you can get 5 lands of Mesoptane, 4 lands of Droprate, and probably the WSE properly there at unique, at least. I asked this last time, chat. How much stat do you need again for like the Lachaline with the boost nodes? If you have like level 20 boost nodes and like how much was it? Like 12k stat, 13k stat or something? I think people said that Lachaline is killable at that point.
Just a quick question about the nodes. Should I be using the nodes on the Kanna now? Because I have like my main damage skills to 40. I'm not sure how important hunting to create magic dispatch and 8-4 jar to get to 40 like right now. Because my Kanna, like everything's level 1 boost nodes, like level 1 domain.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. When I say resources, I definitely don't mean only mesos, but I do mean stuff like nodes and that kind of stuff as well.
Flames,
for sure.
cubes, everything. Okay. Okay.
Looks like you should be able to one hit right now. Oh well, this is the Adele. We're talking about his Kanna. His Kanna that's 220
my Adele
with level 1 boost nodes.
line.
the Adele should be totally fine. Yeah. No, if anyone knows what the requirements are again for like a Lachaline Kanna farmer, like what kind of stats are you usually looking for? Because I think last video we said something, if the boost nodes are like between level 20 and 25, then anywhere from like 12 to 14k stat or something was enough, if I remember the numbers correctly, but I don't know if anyone in chat can confirm or deny that.
I think she is around like 8.5k, so we're slowly getting there, and like everything's like epic. She still has Pencilator, so there's definitely upgrades that can be made there.
Yeah, and you could also choose like to join someone for CRA or to exchange carry on your Adele if you want to. You definitely have that ability now as well.
I feel like I'd rather just get the money from the boss crystals.
Yeah, sure.
If you exchange carries, don't you like lose half the money?
You lose half, but you run twice instead of once, right? Well, if the Kanna can solo 3-door, then you can just make the money on the Kanna. That's fine, right? But if you have a character that can't do it and you exchange a carry, you end up with the same amount of money, right? You just get half twice instead of the full price one time. So it's a net wash, but you get the items on the characters where you want them.
Okay. Yeah.
12 to 15k is good if you have good boost node. Yeah, I guess what does good boost node mean to you? Does it mean level 40 or more like level 20, 25? Because that's going to be the main thing, is you don't want to spend like a year on the Kanna, right? You don't want to spend like 4 months getting the Kanna ready and then only 1 or 2 months to cash it out. Yeah, so I think level 20 boost nodes and like 14, 15k stat is probably a good enough area to go to for the Kanna.
Yeah, I think that's like a plan I'll put on the side for now, because I don't think I'll have nearly as much time as I do now, because I'm on break from school right now. So that's why I have so much time to grind. But once I go back, I'm probably not gonna have time to finish my totems and play on the Kanna. So, I mean, I probably will have like some time at some point.
Yeah, weekends probably more, right?
I don't think it's something like, oh yeah, I gotta go farm and then cube everything right now. I think that's definitely a secondary plan.
Okay.
So like, I think the nodes and everything, like getting to 12k stat, it'll eventually happen.
Well, you say eventually, so as in something that you feel you don't want to prioritize then, or?
Yeah, not really too much. I'd rather just focus on the gear for my Adele right now, because like getting drop in Mesa, that's already like 5 legendary lines. That's more than I have on my current main, so.
Yeah, it feels
Yeah.
backwards, but that's what an investment is, right? You're like investing in something that in the short term is a huge money sink, but then in the long term it ends up paying off. That's the goal. But it does feel like you're taking a detour. I can definitely see that. But yeah, the idea is that you're taking a shortcut that in the short term you're going completely the wrong direction, but then you end up faster at the finish line, right? That's the idea.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But yeah, if you feel like you're not going to be able to put as much time into it, like it's perfectly viable even within just the time of the totems on the Adele and just playing a little bit of the Kanna on the side whenever you have time. You're going to be able to fund properly your account that way as well, if that's your concern that maybe that won't be enough for something. Like you said, like you'll still make money, you'll still make a good amount of money. Just every single training session is going to be good as well, especially since your Legion is at the point where it's at. You'll be able to train more reliably as well with the Legion wealth on and stuff like that. So maybe not every single totem all the time, but you'll see good rates just from training as well.
And one thing about Legion is like once I started leveling those 200 characters, the coins just started raining in.
Mm-hmm.
Like before, I would get like not that many, but
yeah, you could tell the power now, right? Like the raid power, the difference between a 140 and a 200.
It's definitely like something that's really nice to get when you get a character to 200.
Mm-hmm.
Just knowing that like he'll farm coins for you once you get him, like forever.
Yeah, it's like 3 to 4 times the raid power.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good value for sure. Well, I guess the alternative is well, we'll just check out the gear and see where to go from where we are right now. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we already talked about the accessories. Accessories basically is going to be synchronized on clearing Helix, getting to being able to get all the 4 pieces at once, and around that same time, when you move into the pieces, you're basically like your only goal at that point is like at least 17 star and like 2 good lines at unique or getting it to legendary. Like that's for less than that, you're not really switching into it, right? You could temporarily switch into the set for the set bonus and kind of like sit on the items if there's an event soon, but that's going to be always in the short term the goal that you're aiming for on those pieces. So we basically, when we get to those pieces, mathematically, that's going to be the standard that we already want all the other pieces to already have reached or be going towards as well, to make sure that holistically we're not like dividing our money in a weird way, right? We don't want some of our pieces being 12 star and then the rest being 17. It's like, it's pretty,
so like the gains you get for the mesas you pay.
Yeah, exactly. Basically the efficiency of your investment. Yeah. Same reason why if you have useful stats in your hyperstats, typically you don't have one level 1 and the other one next to it level 14. Usually you balance it out in a different way, because then there's always a net gain if you just equalize the levels a little bit. So in a similar way, we do that with equips. Now, once we go past 17, then it heavily depends on backups and how much time gated and RNG. That becomes way more a problem. So like past 17, it comes down a lot to your past behavior in terms of, have you been religiously doing the content and getting backups, or have you been getting really unlucky and don't have any backups? That'll at that point determine where the priority is for that specific piece to upgrade. So that aside, I guess. So you have 1 line of drop rate now with the strength on the Tenebris ring. That's nice. At least there's a line of strength, so there's no real potential loss there, right? It's basically just
I
like
didn't lose damage from getting the ring.
Yeah, and that's good. That's what we do want with the accessories. Using the Terran cape, and then you're using some Starforce level 140 and
Empress
nice cup.
stuff.
Empress stuff, yeah. Yeah, the baseline flames always help keep those pieces to speed. Very nice flames on the CRA.
Yeah, I think that's what I used most of my boss flames on back in the day.
Oh, you got compensation flames?
Oh no, like just weekly.
Just the weekly,
bosses.
Okay.
Sometimes you get the rainbow ones.
Yep.
Just throw one.
Yeah, the Eternals can be very shit, or they can be glorious. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen both sides.
Yeah, Yeah, a lot of people think they're cursed just because, you know, you have way fewer of them, so the chance that one of your really good rolls actually does come from an Eternal is actually lower comparatively, right? Because you see way fewer of them. You end up rolling the good rolls usually with the powerful, so people have the, like, powerfuls are better kind of vibe.
Mindset, yeah. The tier 6 attack on the arcane thing has been carrying me so hard. It's so good.
Yeah,
There's
it's so much attack. Yep.
For
And
the
the extra
weapon, for the soul, I got so there's like the Mag Soul event, and I got like 2 Pierres and 3 Pink Beans. Is that better than the Magnus that it has on it?
Probably not. No.
Okay, so I'll just keep the 6 attack.
Yeah, these souls for the these are of course not the ones you want Magnificent for arcane, like high star Absolab or arcane basically, or Genesis. You always want to have at least double S tier souls. So if you check So these are
lucky.
no, that's perfectly normal. These are fine for like bossing mules or stuff to throw it in there if they give some nice stats. So you can always use them for those. But for like your main weapon on your or your weapon on your main, I should say. A little bit of attack now, or just go Magnificent double S. Otherwise, that's the only alternative there.
Okay. Yeah. I just wasn't sure whether I should use it or not. That's why I waited to pop the Magnificent.
Yeah. No, that's good. It's good that you waited. Because, I mean, they are pretty rare after all, and these events only come around once in a while, so you need a bunch of time to save up Magnificence. So your WSE is your Noble Blade Binder, and then, so you're just using one for mobbing, one for bossing?
Yeah, the Pina one is, and then that's the legendary one that I actually queued. That's one of the items that I actually queued, the Noble one. I haven't really done that much cubing, honestly. I think maybe in total I've bought maybe 2 packs of red cubes total with actual money, and then everything else has just been free stuff.
Yep. Yeah, it's a whole like slow and steady from income from your account, right?
Yeah.
Compensation, that kind of stuff. Boxes.
The compensation was a big boost earlier.
For sure. Well, so we can look one piece at a time, or we can look at like one mode of upgrading at a time. I don't know what you prefer. Like we can look at cubes and see where to work on. We can look at potential, and we can look at Starforce, and I kind of like the balance between that. Or we can look like a piece at a time.
I guess I'm not sure. Well, for now, I guess we should talk about the event, the 5, 10, 15 coming
Sure. Yeah. So I guess we'll focus on Starforcing. So like with everything, right, we want to Starforce priority on where we have the most backups. Of course, you know, if you're going up to 17, it's kind of usually just a safeguard frenzy anyway, so it's not not that important whether you have a lot of backups or not. Dependent
I think I have a decent amount of backups for Sierra.
For Sierra, I imagine, yeah.
Yeah, 5 or 6.
And dinero wise.
I think I have 1,000. I think that's in the backups.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, 1,047. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been slowly working on Dreadnought. Before I read your Commercy commands, I didn't know that getting the boat was important, so I was just doing 10 Dolce runs a day, just get it out of the way. But then, yeah, I think it's level 7, my boat.
Okay.
Almost level 10 to get the upgrade.
Nice, yeah.
So once it's get that, it'll just start raining in. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, you're just printing dineros at that point. Yeah, just the daily runs is already 48, and then with Maple Tour, sorry, not Maple Tour, but with the CPQ on top of that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I haven't been doing CPQ. Is that something I should be looking into doing now?
If you want to, it's just, you know, another thing you can do. I think, well, like you said before, that you end up doing a lot of dailies in the day. You know, you want to be the controller at the end of the day of like, or at the beginning of the day before you do it.
I think I'm pretty satisfied with my dinero income as it is now.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna go too hard on the Sweetwater stuff until the transposing or whatever, right?
Yeah, that, or when you start pushing stuff past 17, like there's a lot of other stuff you typically push past 17 first. And if if it does come to that, then usually that's like right after 5, 10, 15, you look at what you wanted to do and you look at what you get. And then it's like, okay, well, the next thing is to work on the Sweetwater stuff. So I guess that's going to be a higher priority now for the dailies. And then something else is probably going to have to move over a little bit so that you can make sure that by the next 5 to 15, you'll have more backups there.
Yeah. Well, we got to be ready for these events.
Mm-hmm. So the... yeah, sorry.
Try to, during this event, just like try to work on 17 starring my gear. Focus on stuff I have the most backups for. Probably the CRA first.
Yeah, you don't have to safeguard that part, right?
Yeah, so I can save money there. Yeah, I think my plan is just to try to 17 star mostly everything with the money I have now. I have like 5 though saved up.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 6 to 7. I don't know how much like 1,000 Philosopher Stones is. I have
300k each. So that's 3 mil, 30 mil, 300 mil for 1,000.
Yeah, so I guess if I want to tap one more time, I have that.
Yeah. However, yeah. So you're clearing Lotus and Damien now. So I mean, I guess Abzo pieces are one of the things to look out for. Is that something you feel like you're close to?
Yeah. I can just get that eventually. Like with the weeklies, I can run that on different characters, so I can get those coins pretty fast.
Yeah. So it would be probably still a good point to bump up the pieces to the 150 equivalents and get those to 16, so that when you do get the chance to get the Abzos, you can immediately transfer in 15 Abzo and start like working a little bit on the flames and the potentials. And then just sit on 15 until the next 5 and 15, and then use them in the same way that you're going to use it for the CRA now, that you can bump them up to 17. So the pieces that you have that are like waiting for Abzo, so that would be your glove, the shoulder, the shoe.
The shoe, yeah. Shoe and the cape.
And maybe a cape if you, so I don't know if you have like a Enraged Succum capes.
I have a.
Oh yeah, you have at least 4 of them here. Oh yeah, and you have the other ones as well.
And I have the Ranmaru capes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess the cape isn't a super priority because you already have the other pieces. So for the cape, you could also wait until the 30% off, right? That comes a little bit later, in like 3 or 4 weeks, and then you just hold the extra capes for now, just in case if you just make sure you have enough of them, and then just get it to 15 then without safeguarding, and then the next.
I think the warrior cape is already 15.
Oh, you might have a 15 already. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it was.
I think I did that. That's the one that I actually got to 15. Like, I don't even remember. I think that was like a past event from when I played before.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you must have. Yeah, maybe you saw the transfer hammering video that I made where I talk about all that stuff. Yeah, talking about getting the 150
when I first
stuff.
started, I was just going through all your videos and just like trying to play as optimally as possible. That's why I was grinding so hard during the event.
And so, do you maybe have one of the shoulders? No, probably not, right? Because they look.
The Hiatus Treasures, I have one.
Yeah, but the other ones, the 150 ones, they look all like they're still clean, right? No Starforce.
Yeah, those are clean.
Yeah.
Shoulders.
So that could be the thing to do is get the because the Hiatus Treasure is gonna lose that set bonus. So here's what it comes down to. Like if you want to move into the Abzo, right? A 5, 10, 15 is a really nice spot because then you can just bump it up to 16, transfer, bump it up to 16 again, and then safeguard the last star, and then you're done, right? If you're still pretty far away from getting full Abzo, which you kind of are, right? Because you still need to get the weeklies, you still need to get way more Lotus and Damien clears. As long as you have the pieces all in your account, like you have all the 150s, you're working towards the 160s, they're all at least already epic and 15 like they are, then you can do on that day, you can do like up to 16, down to 15, up to 16, down to 15, up to 16, and then 17, right? To get from 140 to 160. That can all be done in a day. And if that's the case, then that is something that you could decide not to focus on too much, since it does take a while, and you could get one. I guess you could, in like a few weeks, you could buy the shoulder, and you could buy 1 or maybe 2 pieces of the Lotus stuff. But the question is there going to be a huge increase? You'll need, you're only going to go up to the 4 set anyway because you already have the arcane weapon. So in terms of like total priority, it's not super important because you have those pieces together. I guess the one thing, you do have the glove as well, right? Like the 150? Yeah.
The glove backups.
Yeah. Is that left glove? Is that 1 Starforced already?
I don't think so. I can check. Let me see.
Yeah, because with the colors and everything.
All the gloves are clean.
And the Ranged Sakum capes are as well?
Yeah. I think it's just the warrior cape that I got. I must have ran out of money or something.
Yeah, that's possible. Well, I mean, just check. I mean, 1 cape is good enough, of course, right? You don't have to do both of them.
Yeah.
And that all gear, and then these backup rings. And you have these backups. And these other earrings in your inventory, those are all reinforced, right?
Yeah, all the Golic stuff is reinforced. I don't know if I should be keeping the solid stuff. I just dropped it. So.
Yeah, solid and cracked, you could just get rid of. If it's epic, you can choose to transfer hammer it over to the next one if you want to, just to have it
just for the potential.
Yeah, just in case it becomes handy. But if it's not epic, you could just get rid of it. It's totally fine.
Okay. All right, I'll make sure to keep the epics now.
Yeah. Yeah, or just Starforce and transfer immediately, right? So you don't like sit on it, so it doesn't like, clog up your inventory.
Inventory management's been a struggle.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the backups.
So you don't have an alternative earring, right?
I had the Will-O-Wisp, but that's like nothing on it.
Yeah,
so.
nothing on it. Yeah. Okay.
I could make a new earring. Like, I don't mind because I have a lot of like resources that I just don't know what to do with right now. So like, I can just throw some stuff at it.
You mean cubes and flames, or?
Yeah, for cubes and flames wise.
Well, yeah. Let's get to the cubes and flames in a bit, but let's focus on the Starforcing for now. So, I think it's fine. So like the pieces to get to 17, I probably focus on the CRA. I probably leave the other pieces alone. Like if you want to, you can at least bump them to 16 now, so that at least you get all of that stat like added up together, right?
During the event.
Yeah, that all of that is just bumped up to 16 because it's like it's complete. It's not free, but not free, but free. Like free in the gamer sense, but not free in the in the other sense. Because the other stuff, and the other stuff, did you have you had 2 Dominator backups and 1 Kanna treasure, right? Oh, 2 Kanna treasures as well.
2 Kanna treasures, yeah. I got a drop this week on Thursday, so.
Nice, yeah.
Right before the event.
So those would be the other pieces that you can consider together with the CRA to push past 15 would be Kanna treasure, tattoo, and monocle, because even the boat upgrade is going to be 500, right? So if you keep 500, there's pretty low chance that the tattoo and a monocle don't see 17.
Yeah.
And then the reinforced earrings could definitely also go to 17.
Okay.
But then as far as that goes, and with the whole, what you said about the Kanna and the main and everything, I think for Starforcing wise, that's probably enough to push. And then the next push we'll do is like on the level 140 stuff into 150, into 160, once you have all the Abzo. And then that Starforce event will basically to get the Abzo to 17 and all the other stuff that you've gotten in between to get the whole set and everything you own up to 17, basically.
Okay.
For Starforcing specific. And then when it comes to flames, you're probably going to hold on to the current Dominators. The fake one is probably still going to be part of your damage set for quite a while.
I have one that's starting to get almost as good. I didn't take a screenshot of it, but it's 32 strength, a 5 all stat. It's unique potential with 9%.
But so you're gonna have the fake one that's gonna be part of your damage, and then the second one is probably gonna be either a superior pendant for damage, or it's gonna be, once you get a good Dominator pen flamed, transposed into a Sweetwater, whichever one of those 2 you get first. Probably the superior, but it could be the other one as well if you get lucky on a flame there. So it's still going to have function as the damage up until that point, plus it's going to help with the crit rate, and it comes with 15% strength, so the flame could definitely be improved on that and be worth it and can have like value out of it. And then if you do go to drop rate on one of the other pieces, or maybe even the transpose pendant is like a combination of damage and drop rate or mezzo in the beginning, then it'll just be kind of like the hybrid pendant. And then this one will might even come into place still as the damage pendant compared to the other one, because the set bonus, right, might still be coming into play. But then once you go full superior, then it's basically just superior pendant and all the superior pieces. And then the other pendant is going to be the transposed Sweetwater pendant, or that's going to be the next goal if you don't have one yet. So I'm not saying like get 120 flame score on the on this one, but like, you know, something like 60 plus 70 or something.
Just look to bump it up, get it something decent.
Yeah, it's like 40, like a 40 to 50 stat is probably still pretty easily gained on this. And you know, comparatively to how hard it is to get flame score increased on all the other stuff, that's definitely one of the easier ones. Because you don't have many other opportunities, right? Like your CRA and your cup are otherwise the other ones to work on, but those you have are already really good. So there's no point in flaming that, plus no point in flaming the weapon. Plus the other stuff that would be also a possibility would be the Abza stuff, but you don't have that yet. So at this point, it's pretty free to flame the that one. If you get
Dominator.
Yeah, the Dominator. If you get any other flames, you could throw a few on your glove. It's also flame advantage is level 140, and it's only got a 3% all stat, so that could be improved a little bit as well. But as long as that one hits like something like 50, 55 or something flame score, then I would start throwing your flames at CRA on your Kanna once you get those pieces there. To get that one, you know, to maybe get the ball rolling, plus make the weekly bosses faster, plus maybe get it to farming if you want to, just to keep that door open until you get good flames there. On like a cup and the CRA there, and then probably move on to whatever other character you wanted to move into. Maybe the a bossing mule, like the Arc, or if by that time you're moving into Absolab stuff, then you switch back to that, basically.
Yeah, just whatever the current priority is.
Yeah, well, but that's kind of like how you want to look at those priorities, right? Like high level items, flame advantage, and then slightly lower flame advantage, but just you're always, so the priority is looking like where can the biggest bang for your buck. So as long as you kind of have an idea of what in my account needs work in general, and then you can kind of like list them in your head, be like, oh, CRA is like very high up, this character has CRA, I'll work on that, and then I'm working on this CRA, but now I can get Abzo on my main. Oh, now that becomes a higher priority, so now I shift where my flames go, basically.
Yeah.
And you know, if you need to read that down, if you need to write that down or something, then you know, whatever works for you to keep ahead, because as your account gets more complex, it becomes more likely that you kind of lose track of what you were working on exactly. I like to torture myself into needing to remember that at all times, but you know, whatever works for you, just do what you need to do, you know?
Yeah, I was watching your stream before the session, and I saw you like forget what you were gonna flame.
Oh yeah,
and like
exactly. That's what I was, yeah, that's what I was referring to. I like to kind of keep myself sharp in that way, that I need to keep remembering that. You know, for the few good years that I have left, you know.
Yeah, keep the hamster spinning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because other than that, there's not anything else really to work on flame wise. Potential wise, that'd probably be like the next thing after the Starforcing is over. And then looking at what kind of funds you have. For sure. Yeah. For now, I would just kind of like leave the CRA and leave the other pieces, because the main thing is like, do you need damage to kill things? And for the Adele, I think the answer is not really. Yeah. So what does that mean? That means you have room to work on utility. Right? Yeah. Instead of needing to do the damage. So you basically want to get all the accessories where the Tenebrous Ring is. You know, not always drop, with some with Mezzo. And then, because you're slowly still working on nodes, you're slowly still working on arcane power, so you are getting stronger. You're working on levels, you're working on legion slots, hyperstats, all of that keeps going as you're leveling. So you are still getting stronger, not passively, but like as a result of training. And you don't need damage. So now is a really good time to work on drop and meso gear. And then by the time that you do need the damage, the drop of meso gear will have paid for itself and given you extra money, and then that can go into the potential of the other stuff to give you the damage that you need at that point to be able to kill the monsters. That's the idea. So one at a time, the accessories, And typically I start with the things that are already unique because they're, you know, the closest to it, so the lowest amount of money. And I start with the ones that have the lowest percentage strength so that you lose the lowest amount of damage. So it would probably be
the reboot ring for now.
Yeah, the Cosmos ring, yeah. And then probably the monocle and tattoo. And then so the one so that seems all pretty straightforward. The one caveat is, of course, what if I roll like 21 strength or 24 or, you know, anything higher than that? That's kind of up to you. You can say, okay, I'll just pause and work on the next piece. But you can't say like pause and work on the next piece like 5 times, because then you end up, you know, in a completely different situation. So then it comes down to, okay, well, do I really need this? Do I really need this
like
damage?
21%, or like, yeah, do I need the damage to one shot or not?
And eventually you roll over 21 anyway. So rolling over it in the short term and sacrificing 12% strength for a line of utility, when you don't need to kill speed as much, is probably worth it in the short term. If you roll 24, 27, 30, 33, I would say always hold and just make another piece, and, you know, that's kind of like a lucky or unlucky.
I have another chaos ring.
Yeah, I saw that one.
I think it was like I quit like while I was resetting it, so I think the stats are pretty bad.
Oh yeah.
I can look at it in game.
Yeah, when it comes to utility though, it's still going to be better than an Epheus ring and then
so I was
Silver
planning on
Blossom
making
ring.
this my Droprate or like whatever.
Yeah, the Epheus is already unique as well, so that could also be an option. So you have some fallback. I guess the other thing is, if your eye in your face end up on legendary getting a lot of stat, that's usually a little bit trickier, because at that point it's like, do I buy another piece plus, you know, the 17 stars? You also have the black beam mark, so that one could come in as like a, you know, to save the day. But I would go through the pieces first and then see where that ends. Yeah, if you end up with like 23% or like 27, 30% on an eye on your face, then that's definitely a keep. So as long as you get the 5 meso, right? You could also say like, I'm going for 5 meso and like 3 drop or 2 drop, maybe a little bit less at first, and then see if that's still okay, if you're okay with those rates. But that is going to mainly slow down. It's not going to slow down the meso very much, right? But it's mainly going to slow down the rate of nodes, which is, you know, also less than ideal. But if you have, you know, not directly aspirations of destroying the black mage, then that small slowdown.
I'm planning on taking it pretty slow.
Yeah. It's possible that it's not the end of the world until you feel like, okay, now I have a lot of money, and I have the dineros, right? And you have the dreadnought going on. I could just buy an extra piece and start plopping. Like, that's not a big deal anymore at this point. But whenever you'll get a better feel for, oh, now I do a totem, and just a totem by itself just makes me more than a bill. That's basically just.
Oh man, I can't wait for that. That's gonna be nice.
Because then it's basically just one item from, well, or on average, an item from just rare to legendary. Or, I mean, they even start on epic, right? So should be pretty guaranteed epic to legendary, and then you can just, boom, replace them if you want to.
Okay. That seems pretty clear. I actually really needed this information, because like I had no idea. Like, with flames, I just throw it at something random.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, maybe today this Dominator will hit something.
And it's possible. Every single flame could be the one. But until you get to the point where that upgrade is... Because, you know, the pendant costs 400, and then transposing is 10 per attempt, so that's like 100 a day, and that can take a few days as well. Then the narrows can be gone pretty quickly. Plus, when it comes to the odds and everything, like, I don't know the exact numbers either, but there are calculators available, right? There's a Starforce calculator, potential calculator, and a flame calculator to see like how much is it going to cost, how many flames on average is this potential gonna cost me. So that's kind of the numbers that are like somewhere in the back of my head. But if you ask me like exactly how much is this and how much is this and what should be the priority, I could be off a little bit. But as long as you're going generally in the right direction, you know, if I'm off by like 15 bill, then yeah, I'm doing something very wrong here. But I won't be. But honestly, when those are like the margins that you're talking about, then you always just want to rely on a calculator to get the exact numbers, because and you're always waiting for an event as well. Otherwise, just shit show.
Yeah, without like constantly Kanna farming, you gotta wait for those events. Gotta make the money count.
Yeah, Kanna farming is essentially the way that you are allowed to just brute force and not having to sit around and wait. Yeah.
My one friend who played the game, like he got to like 275 with like also a 275 Kanna, so like just Kanna farming, funding everything. And I was like, that doesn't seem very like a fun way to play the game. So
people enjoy different things in different ways. So as long as you,
I mean, I guess the gains are probably really, really fast if you farm a lot.
Yeah, just being on a Kanna for a little bit and just plopping down a domain and just running and just standing still in a map and then walking around the map looting like 600 bags. There's something very, very satisfying about that. Just seeing how much money that is. Yeah, I could definitely see how that could be addictive.
Yeah, maybe my opinions will change once I get some of those lines on my Kanna's gear.
It's possible, yeah.
We'll see.
That's the other thing also, like once you get that utility going, you'll feel way more value in your totems and wanting to train. Like that'll motivate more. And then once you get to the point where all of the upgrades are getting really expensive, you might be like, oof, maybe it is time to call into Kanna. But it'll depend on how long that takes, and just keep an eye on, like, summer is most likely where the Kanna is going to lose half, if not all, of the Kishin advantages, and the closer you get to that, the more value there will be in investing into the bossing mules instead for that crystal change coming up in the summer.
Hopefully by summer I'll have some more Pixel Labs so I can make some more bossing mules. I like making bossing mules. Like soloing 3 door on my Kanna was also like it was pretty exciting. Even though like I've already done CRA, like I clear it every week, but I don't know, clearing it on a new character is just something about it.
Yeah, I mean, every next time is always faster, but it's still not guaranteed when you're going in. There's still stuff that can go wrong. Yeah. Or like, oh, 1 death, no big deal. Oh, 2 bad. Oh, 3. Wait a minute. Yeah, I recognize that with Project CRA, where with some classes you feel pretty quickly whether you're like in control of the boss fight or where you're like, ooh, I'm gonna have to try pretty hard here to clear it.
Yeah. Kanna wasn't too bad though. Got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's got a good arsenal. Yeah, it's got a big array of weapons to throw at the boss. Because mine was 220, a little bit past 220. I think around your level, like 221, 222.
I did
but
it's 221.
But I had my symbols a little bit higher leveled up, so I unequipped those to make it a little bit more. I think I was at like 7 point something
For
K stat.
Project CRA.
Yeah. Because with them on, I was over. Like, it was like 12K or something. I was like, okay, this is gonna be way too fucking easy. So I unequipped all of them, and I think I got just under 8K or like a low 7K or something. And it was still pretty doable. The one difficulty, though, I think mainly for new players, is that even on minimal skill visibility, you don't see anything. Like, you don't see what the boss is doing.
Yeah, I couldn't. If you have the spirit circle on, like
when the boss is just gone.
I can't see anything. During Bon, sometimes I just
get clapped.
sometimes hold down just because I wasn't sure if he was gonna throw out his ball or not. Like,
and if he's too far and he jumps, you just jump in the air. And Exorcist charm, Yeah, you could die but you could afford to die a few times like that if you were really more experienced.
I tried doing the Shiki charm when he jumped and fell so fast. Just died.
I did that exact thing one time. Yeah, no, well, I think that's the one skill that's not bugged in the sense that, I mean, you do have falling acceleration typically in real life, right? But in the game you don't. You always fall at a constant speed. But Shikigami is the one where you actually do fall faster, and you do have
fall like a rock.
Yeah, exactly. Just like a brick, right down to I died exactly like that. I pressed the button a little bit one time, and then fell really quick, faster than my brain was expecting me to fall, and then fell right into the Funbon jump, and be like,
after that, I just started pressing my jump key.
And then just Exorcist Charm to float if necessary. Yeah, that ended up being safer.
But like usually you want to use like your jump mobility, right? Your upwards mobility, but I guess on Kanna you don't.
Well, you could also teleport. Technically, it checks if you're on the ground or not, and if you teleport, then you're off the ground for a little bit. Like a dash skill or a teleport should also work, but it's a pretty narrow window, so jumping is typically safer.
Yeah, timing seems pretty tight on that.
Yeah,
I don't know
definitely.
if I want to risk that.
Yeah.
So I play on East Coast, 70 ping, like probably not worth.
Yeah, like a rush skill on a warrior or something could be actually more safe. But of course, unless there's a combination of the missile and the jump, then you kind of run out of options.
That's always fun.
So are there any specific pieces where you are wondering where to go for with that specific piece? And if you should be getting backups, or compared to the backups that you currently have, if you need to hold on to them or if you can get rid of them, I guess.
I guess the one droid heart, should I like go hard on that? Like, should that be my priority after the accessories for the potential?
For potential,
because I think
yes.
It has the least amount of junk lines, so that's why it's the best upgrade, right? Yeah.
You probably want to get that and your that to unique. But I would wait a little bit to see like how fast you're moving into Abzo. So if the Abzo is pretty close at that point, then it's probably fine to also just work on the Abzo, on the flames, and on the potential just for the brute power, because at that point you're also going to be moving into new areas, right? Moving into into Moonbridge and moving more into like Lucid and Will territory. And then the damage will probably be necessary for those points, and the extra potential tiers and the flames on those pieces will be significant, and because it's 160 tier and everything, so the percentages per line will be pretty good. But yeah, as long as you get hit 2 lines on legendary, or if you hit 3 lines on unique, then that's also a good point to stop and move on to the next piece. But it's gonna be like heart, and then either maybe if you need to make extra accessories, or you're specifically going for the superior accessories, right, for the set bonus specific. Other than that, it'll be the Abzo right underneath that, and then CRA very last.
Yeah.
Because the junk
Epic.
lines just epic, or if you have Master Craftsman cubes, right, and you roll and it slowly goes up to unique with those, and you can roll like 9 or 12% or something, and unique, that's fine too. But yeah, legendary
that's
is.
That's how I got both my Sweetwaters to unique. Just random Master Craftsman just hits a unique, and then randomly hit a 2 line.
Yep.
You take those.
Yeah, that's a good start. But again, remember, like the quicker you get used to the strength on the accessories, the more you take a hit when you move into the drop and the meso set. That's kind of the downside. But again, in these cases, in the grand scheme of things, it won't be a huge amount. It'll be like 20% compared to all the pieces. You do have some, you got a 9% on the ring, 12% on the other one, so it can add up a little bit. But I'm sure you have some buffer because Adele is okay.
I mean, even now, I feel like even if I dropped all of my rings, like the damage, and change it for drop, I feel like I still wouldn't have problems training or bossing.
I can't imagine you would, no.
Especially with the arcane. That's most of my damage anyways.
Yeah. And that's the static piece, so no losses there.
I'm chilling there. Okay, yeah, I'm got a pretty clear idea of what I want to do. For all the pieces. Yep.
Yeah, I guess you have the fairy heart in the shop. I don't know if you feel compelled to buy that on any piece, since you did mention the heart. I don't know.
Funny story about my Kanna is during the One Droid event, it was the last day, and I had like 2 hours to get the heart and the android, because I hadn't started. I did everything. I got the heart. And then I went out with my friends because they're like, "Oh, yo, let's go chill." And I'm like, "All right, maybe I'll be back in time." And then, didn't get the android. She just has the heart, but no.
Oh shit. Yeah, half a piece is no piece in that case. So.
Yeah.
So hopefully that comes back.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Android to come back.
Yeah. Until then, it also feels like a pretty big waste to buy a fairy heart. Then I guess if it does come back,
it's like I already have the one droid heart, the better one. So there's.
Well, we learned something, chat. This is why you don't get friends, because they'll cuck you out of androids that help you, or one droid heart give you stat on your Kanna.
Yeah, maybe I would have cleared TRA like last week if
Yep.
I didn't go out that week.
Yep. It will come back,
Yeah.
Copium. Yeah, hopefully. Okay, so no other questions you can think of?
No, I think I'm pretty good. Oh, I guess for inventory management, which of the seeds, flowers, oils, all that stuff should I be keeping? Because like my inventory is getting pretty full with all the random seeds and ores I have in here, so I feel like I can definitely get rid of some of these.
Yeah, I think from the I think not even in was it February? When did they say that they were going to release the bags?
Oh, they're making bigger bags? Yeah, all the bags I have now are full.
Yeah, basically in KMS they added a shop where you can buy all the bags and stuff, as well as buy droplets for Mezzo like all year round. Ooh. And I think they mentioned it in the roadmap. Let me just check real quick. I don't remember if it was February or... Oh, yeah. It's part of February. So that should be pretty close that you can just buy 20 slot bags for Mezzo from the NPC. So that'll be really nice. That falls under the various Reboot World content for quality of life stuff in February. So that's coming pretty close. Up until then, like usually for the flowers and the seeds, I keep pretty much everything because it's a very easy way of raising alchemy on all my other characters. So I can fuse and extract there.
Yeah, I've been holding on to almost all of them, but it's just the space. I'm running out.
Usually it's for the ores that I get rid of a lot of the low-level stuff, and even if I have a decent amount of refined ores, usually I get rid of the ores themselves as well for that same type. So like bronze, what else is there? Like amethyst, topaz, like all of those you can clearly you can safely get rid of, like silver, opal, gold. What else is around those levels? Orihalcon, like all of those you can get rid of. And you can kind of apply the same thing to the flowers and the seeds. Like if you have a decent amount of oils, then the flowers and the seeds by themselves you can get rid of as well. Because all it does is it levels your herbalism, but it doesn't level your alchemy. For the alchemy, you need the potions already, like the refined potions. So if you have some of those, then you know, for temporarily, you can get rid of that as you need more space. But hopefully the bags will make it so that you don't have to make too many decisions.
Yeah, for like the alchemy stuff, like, is it worth getting to Meister for better fuses for flames, or?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because I heard that like the tier of the flame depends on whether you're Meister or Master Craftsman. I'm like level 10 in most of the professions. I think I like mining. I'm like level 9 or something.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. No, it's better to just like farm for money and then use the money to mass flame if you want to improve. You know, like the overall outcome there, the efficiency. Like I think it's based off of non-reboot like access to flames and the amount of odds that they get. But for reboot, you just brute force it with Mezzo. It makes more sense.
Yeah. Okay. I can't really think of anything else. That's pretty much everything.
Okay, well, good shit.
Definitely gonna make some gains, hopefully, this Sunday.
Yeah, no, you definitely make some. Yeah, I mean, just bumping the stuff up to 16.
I think it's like 2 stars on each item. If I get all of them to 17, that's
it's a weapon attack, right?
Yeah, a lot of attack.
And that'll help you buffer the loss of stat from your accessories, so you can go full utility. And then once the damage needs to come in when you're going into Moonbridge and stuff, by then the Abzo stuff will come around and then that'll pick up the damage that it needs to.
Alright. Yeah. Seems good.
Okay. Well, best of luck.
Alright, man. Thanks. Appreciate the help.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'll see you around.
Alright.
Later. Bye-bye. Yes. Alright, so if you are in a similar situation, hopefully this illuminated a little bit the step that you're in. If you are not quite as far with the pieces that go into Abzo, this is the stuff that you can work on. These are the backups that you can go for. So the drops from Madman Ramaru. There are some alternatives as well. So the Enraged Sakum cape as an alternative to this cape. Pink Bean belts as an alternative to the reinforced belts if you don't have those or don't have the Sengoku drop. And the shoulders are pretty much, these are the ones you need to get. There's no alternatives there. There's only the Commercy shoulder, one of a kind in the game, so that's not really an option. Shoes and gloves, you can get the Ancient Root shoes from the Root Abyss shop, and the Ancient Root gloves if you want to from the Black Market, the Magnus shop, all the way at the, you know, the shop area in front of the Magnus area, the Magnus Castle. So those are other ones you can have that you can kind of keep as resources, so you don't have to keep them in your inventory if you do get a really full inventory. But I think at this point there's a lot of stuff that's, you know, it's not super full. So it's mainly the things that you want to stock up forever and that you want to prioritize to keep forever is the Dominators, the Kanna treasure rings, the reinforced rings. Like those are the really important ones because it's the more the merrier for those. So make sure that you make space for those if you do fill up otherwise. But other than that, there's not a huge amount of things to possibly get rid of in this scenario here. Forgot to ask about the Seaval hat. Oh, Seaval hat, like the lucky hat, has value if you're a 0. For everyone else, it's pretty much there's no point in investing in it. If you want to keep it for looks or, you know, something like that, you can go right ahead, of course. But the lucky aspect of it, some people might, as a 0 you wear it for the set bonuses and stuff. You could find like a scenario where you wear it instead of the Abzo hat temporarily for the 5 set Abzo because you have the weapon. I don't think it's worth it. By that time, the set bonus changes should have come through, right? Because I think they were also mentioned here. Absolap and Arcane set bonuses, that's also coming in February. So the 5 set bonus for Abzo isn't even going to be that big anymore, so it's something that you can completely not worry about. Okay, so if you guys want one of these sessions as well, check the description of the video. If you would like to win, make sure to leave a comment saying that you would like to win. And if you're just listening, hanging out, hopefully the information and the updated information with the stuff that is coming to GMS and that might be coming from KMS is giving you enough of a heads up to tweak your progression through the game and the things that you're focusing on. And if not, you can always ask for clarification in the chat whenever I'm live. I stream every day on Twitch under Scardor as well, and there's a bunch of helpful people there and a bunch of commands that will give you a ton of information. So we're glad to see you around, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. That was a weird wave goodbye.